Hi, Ray. Hi, Comfort. How you guys doing?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Oh, doing fabulous. I get a chance to chat with you beauties. It's so much fun. I really enjoyed the movie. It was really cute. Tell me about the story of your new holiday film, Mary Good Enough.
An adult family, myself, the youngest child, Cynthia, Lucy, and Daniel plays our brother as well. And
Middle child and older brother.
yes, Daniel plays the oldest child, Tim, and then we have the middle child, Lucy, and myself, Cynthia, the youngest. And they come home for Christmas to find that their mom has left the building.
Gone missing. MIA.
Mom has gone out somewhere and no one is sure where she is. And so the children take it upon themselves to figure out where mom went and why she left right before the holidays. Their father, their estranged father, returns to assist in the project, and I would say hijinks ensue.
It's about a family that is good enough and a family that has so much love for each other and is forced to confront each other in this pivotal moment in their lives on this holiday, the eve of Christmas. The mother goes missing, and where does that leave the kids? And what are they supposed to do? And how are they supposed to make Christmas happen?
It's a unique, fun journey. Yeah.
So, what sets this film apart from all the holiday films that we're going to be seeing pop up this season?
Ooh, good question.
It's like an adult Home Alone. I feel like it's more real than any holiday film you've seen.
Yeah, I think this movie is different because it's honest. It's very like, let's embrace the holidays and all the good, the bad, and the beautiful that comes with it. That's something that makes it very different from the average holiday movie. It's the honesty, I think.
Totally.
There's something about watching dysfunctional families during, the holidays. I mean, what is it about it that we want to see this on our screens, even though we might be in the midst of it ourselves,
Totally. I think it makes you feel sort of like you can relate to it because it's normal.
Like you're also watching the train crash and you're not actually, it's not about you. I feel like it is just so relatable. I mean, every family has, the roles that you fulfill within the family dynamic and system. Yeah. And when you go home, you become a kid again and fulfill that same role because it's automatic. And so,
right, whatever age you are.
Yeah.
It's kind of a timeless thing to relate to a dysfunctional family. Everyone can relate to something in there.
Yeah.
In a way, you think of like, our parents have a certain role as we grow up, but you see them as parents. But I really feel like this film really kind of brought to light, the parents' role and how they've grown through the holidays. And I mean, what was the biggest takeaway for you guys as you kind of got the script and you worked through the entire film? I was just thinking about like how the fact that you see the mom kind of going through her own thing, it just kind of reminds you like, oh, they're human too in some ways. And sometimes you kind of get lost in that as kids, I feel like.
Yeah. You expect something different of your parents and you have all these expectations as a kid and as someone in the family system, and then what normal should be or should look like, and it's actually never that way. So I feel like there were no adults in the room, so to speak. Like everyone was just like went back to their own kid self and nature.
Yeah. And I feel like with parents, especially around the holidays with Christmas, it's like your parents are, Santa, they're magical in their own way. Yeah. And then it's sort of as you get older, there's figuring out what their role is in the holidays when it isn't that. And then, finding a different kind of magic. And I imagine we don't see the parents' viewpoint on that side of it very often. Yeah. And this gave us a chance to kind of see like, what is it like as the mother of a daughter who's, struggling at this age? And how is that different around the holidays? And so I think it's a different viewpoint of the parents, like you said.
And highlighted the mother's like desperate need to redefine herself within the family. Yeah. And also to reassert herself as the real center of the family. And like to show the rest of the family what would happen if she weren't there. Yeah. So I think we all take each other for granted in a certain sense, like within a family. And here is a moment in this family's life where they all take a breath and realize how much they actually do love and care for each other.
And you get that with the dad too. Like he arrives and it's, the family being together for the holidays.
Let's talk about your guys' roles. You play Lucy and Cynthia, sisters. So how was it becoming sisters on screen? And what do you love most about your characters?
Ooh, good question. I feel like it was very easy to become sisters on screen because Raye is amazing.
Comfort. It's amazing.
It felt very
We
instant.
are actually chosen family.
Yes.
Now.
Yes. That's a great way to put it.
We are, like, my parents adopted her and her parents adopted me. And we kind of made it official like day one. It just felt very natural. It felt so safe. And so we were able to be super safe with each other. And then on set, I feel like it translated because we could just like have it out with each other, but also our love for each other really shone through.
Our first day was a fight scene, the first day we met. And somehow like feeling very safe in that moment is hard because you're fighting and you're projecting an angry emotion, but having Raye as the scene partner in that moment was just felt so natural and normal to be sort of having this moment with her, because I think there was this immediate feeling of like love in her eyes, even when we were fighting. And it just made it very easy to drop into the sister dynamic, I think.
Yeah. And with sisters, there is that intense love. Like there is like a love that you can't deny, but on top of that, layers on top of that is like, oh, I can't handle you.
So what do you love most about your characters?
When I first read the script, I was like, does Caroline know my story? Like, not my story per se, but does she know? Like, I felt seen. I felt like I was like, this is so me and so relatable. And I guess what I love about Lucy is that she has so much heart and she just wants the family to be together. Whatever the circumstance, she is like the glue, and she just like loves Christmas. She loves the holidays so much, and she loves when the family gets together. And there is the drama and, angst and all of that stuff, but she just really has a lot of love for her family, and she's very flawed and silly. And I got to be silly and playful and quirky, and I just love her so much.
Oh, comfort.
I love so many things about Cynthia, but I think generally it's her layers. Like, she comes in very hot, but she's actually in some ways the most optimistic person in the family. And she is there trying to make the situation better at all times. And I definitely relate to that. And I also relate to her feeling of like, I have a definition of normal in my head, and she's evolving what that means as the story goes on. And I think that by the end, she realizes that her normal isn't necessarily someone else's normal, and that's okay. It's actually a good thing.
And that's okay.
Yeah. It's married good enough. It's great.
And Raye, I mean, you had a unique situation. How was it working with your real life husband in the film?
We have worked together before on plays and little short films and stuff like that. But this was the first very real, very grounded project we did together where I was the lead, and he was such a wonderful character that really shaped my arc and my hope and as a character. And it's very easy to work with him. It's so lovely to work with him, and it just made it that much more special. And I really saw him as this guy next door. I mean, that's kind of how he came into my life, as this positive force anyway, and pulled me away from my nuclear family. And now he and I have our own, base and nuclear family and home together. And those forces were very much mirrored in Marry Good Enough.
The chemistry is very clear. Put it that way. People on set who didn't know they were married were sort of like, oh my God, these two are really there's something there.
They should date.
They should maybe date.
Yeah, it was fantastic working with him. And it also felt very safe. So we could just, really go full in and feel very safe pretty quickly.
So along those lines, I mean, what gets you into the holiday spirit?
I love everyone getting together, taking time off from the hustle, throwing everything away out the window, all the obligations, and then just relaxing, sitting by a fire, like getting really, I think, of warmth and cozy. And I love holiday movies, of course. This movie, Mary Good Enough, now being my favorite.
For me, one of the things that marks the holidays is every year at Christmas, my family and I pick a theme for a gingerbread village. And then yeah, it's very intense.
Oh my gosh.
We've done, like, we did Harry Potter, and last year we did Ghostbusters. And so we make all these little villages that are, you know, part of the theme. This year I'm thinking Barbie maybe. So that really gets me in the spirit. And then we always watch A Christmas Story and then a new movie every year that no one has seen before, a Christmas holiday themed film. So I think I know what this year is going to be.
Oh, I love those. I want to ask you guys, how was it working on an independent film?
I mean, this movie was amazing. There was so many people, so many things that came together in the right moment for this movie to happen. And we were able to film it around the holidays as well, which was kind of an amazing blessing. We were really able to take advantage of the actual like Christmas lights and decorations and also the holiday spirit that everyone actually brought with them to getting this movie done. And we filmed it in, you know, a short amount of time, and everyone brought their A game. And I have to feel like Christmas was a part of that people were just in a great spirit and mindset. So in that sense, it felt like, I don't know, like a great Christmas miracle dream.
Yeah. Like everyone was so on board with the story and so invested and had just like so much heart like going into this. Like we were all crying the days leading up to the end of shooting because we all had the best time ever. And no one wanted to leave the set. And the level, I would say like independent film, yes, but the level of professionalism on the set that everyone across the board had was just impeccable and really impressive. There wasn't anything that felt indie about it, although, you know, we had like 3 takes each scene. I mean, it was like bam, bam, bam. And then we got to sink into it when we needed to. And it was really a fun shoot.
How was it working with the directors, Dan Kennedy and Caroline Keene?
I mean,
those two.
They are the best dynamic duo. They're incredible. Like the way they work together, the entire time I was just in awe.
Blown away.
Like one of them would have a note on one thing, and then the other one it was like finish their thoughts, finish the other's thoughts of like, yeah, I was thinking the same thing, and then add to it. So it truly felt like being directed by both of them. And I've had other experiences with co-directors where one is maybe more dominant. This truly felt like they were both bringing the same amount of energy and excitement and attention to every scene. And like the way they think is so similar, but also like additive. It just totally, I don't know.
They're like an amazing team. They're just an amazing team. And it's a testament to their teamwork, how fluid everything was when we were shooting and how clear the vision was.
I think everyone felt really positive on set too, because they would come in and take the time to say what had gone well and tell us what we were doing that they loved, which was just meant a lot. And it gives you a lot of confidence going into another take or in the next scene. So they did an amazing job of balancing sort of some thoughts and direction with like what they loved about what we were bringing to it. And it just created the most positive working environment, I think.
They both like really just don't have egos or like they set their ego aside so much. Like there's so much humility. So yeah, it was just a joy to see them work together and to take in all of the information and translate that as an actor and just feel super free.
Do you have a favorite moment on set?
I mean, I always reference the BB gun scene.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was so fun and thrilling. But you know, then you have like the scene where all the kids stop and look at the lights on the street.
That's, I think, my favorite moment because we shot it on an actual location where this family had put out the most amazing light display. And the scene is the 3 kids going to look at it. And we pulled up and it was the end of the day on a Friday and it was freezing cold. Like I'm talking like 15 degrees, negative 15 maybe. And after we finished shooting it, everybody was there and we had already called cut, but everyone stayed on set drinking hot chocolate because it was this incredible magical moment with the lights and it was actual Christmas time. That sort of like is emblematic of the whole vibe of the set for me.
And the owner of the house who set up the lights came out and gave us all hot chocolate.
That's true. Came from him. Yeah.
And it was just so romantic and so nostalgic, and really dropped us into the scene itself. I mean, as soon as Comfort comes in, Cynthia comes in, it's like
she comes in hot.
It's like the whole movie starts really kicking into gear. And that moment where you come in, I think, is like sparks, you know, and I just feel like that's a really great scene.
I love filming that scene too.
Yeah,
that was so fun.
Oh, I just like every single one. I love the hood of the car scene.
It's a great one.
Yeah, that also was freezing, but everything was freezing, but it was also really warm, if that makes sense.
It does. It sounds like a really special, like just such a unique experience, because, you know, not many people can film during the actual season. A lot of Christmas movies are done in summertime and you're like, Burke, it's cold outside, you know, but you're really sweating. So it just totally sounds super magical, and just the experience. And I feel like that charm, that magical vibe kind of seeps into the movie. So beautiful.
There was one scene that was written where there needed to be snow on the ground, and we were like, all right, maybe we'll just, like, you know, the directors are like, maybe we'll just re-envision it without the snow and That morning it snowed. It didn't snow any other day leading up to it, but it snowed that exact morning, and it was just like, what's going on?
Everyone brought their A game, including the weather.
So what are you most excited for people to see in the film?
The reactions we've seen so far have been really touching. One person came out and said, I'm going to have a better Christmas with my family after seeing this film. There was someone else who said, like, I feel seen. I feel like this is my family. So I feel like there's an element of like catharsis, and I'm very excited for people to, I don't know, have their hearts broken open after watching this movie, and to see how they're affected by it.
At the screening so far, there have been so many laughs that come from this movie, in moments that were planned, that were on the page. Thank you, Caroline. And moments that kind of came spontaneously on set. And Daniel is so funny. He plays our brother, and he just has these little moments of improv where his face will make a little change of expression, and it just lights the whole room. Everyone is laughing. So I'm excited for people to go from the laughter that maybe they weren't expecting with this movie into the truly heartwarming, touching moments that come throughout it. It's really well paced in that sense, that there's a lot of laughter, and then there's a lot of like things that will just
poignant.
Will touch your heart.
It's very well blended with all of that, because that's life. And so it really reflects life in that way, which is so beautiful.
Yeah. I'm excited for people to see themselves, you know, their family dynamics, maybe
feel a little bit better about the normal that they thought their family should be is actually not the best. There is no normal. You know?
That the new normal is okay. It's one of those things where you hear, I laughed, I cried, and people actually really mean it. People came up to us in the screening and said that, with tears in their eyes from joy and also from a little heartbreak, but that's the holidays, I guess.
That's very true. So what was it like working with Joel Murray, who plays your dad in the movie?
Joel,
Dad.
What dad? What a presence. Like, he was so engaged and funny, and it was very easy to be playful with him and fight with him and banter with him. He was just a riot. Like,
he's such a funny person.
Yeah.
And he just dropped into the dad role so easily.
And him coming into, I mean, that is how the dad comes into these kids' world, like almost like estranged, right? So that it's like, who are you? What are you doing here? You're in the house? What? You're showing up for Christmas? Like, you've never shown up for Christmas Eve. What's going on? And so this like whirlwind of a character, he was able to step into it so easily, because that's how we know him.
The way the schedule worked out, Joel came into filming a few days after we had already started. So it was sort of like the way it is in the film, where he comes in, you know, maybe a third of the way through. And it was like we had established this dynamic as the siblings, and then dad arrives and shakes things up in a big way. And he is so funny. in the moments in the diner, he just improvs so many lines that would catch us off guard, but in the exact way that the dad would actually do with the children. So the dynamic fits so well. And he's just such a talented, incredible presence. He's so warm. He's so funny. And he just kept us on our toes, I think.
Yeah. He has so much love. And I think you really fall for him. You know, the thing about this film is no one is at fault. Like, everyone's just trying to do the best they can and live their lives. And that's what's so real about it. But at the same time, there's a lot of trauma there that hasn't been dealt with, and there's a lot of heartbreak.
But he brings like some joy into the picture as well, because the 3 adult siblings are looking for their mom. But then the dad arrives and he sort of takes their mind off it while also helping look for her. So he'll take them to the ice skating rink, or he'll take them to do things that he did with them as children. And it sort of brings back these memories of childhood. That is a lovely part of this film, I think, that you can kind of remember those moments that were so special to you as a kid and relive them in a different way as an adult, in a way that you can find the new normal for what the holidays mean to you and your family.